Всем привет, с вами снова я. И сегодня я начинаю играть в Portal. Итак, начать не буду. Окей.
Welcome to
Game name here.
Hopefully you've already had a chance to enjoy the offbeat perspective and new game mechanic of Portal. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. Some commentary nodes may take control of the game in order to show something to you. In these cases, simply press your use key again to stop the commentary. Please let me know what you think after you've had a chance to play, as we think we are just at the beginning of taking advantage of this type of gameplay. I can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Thanks, and have fun.
Итак, в общем, я не мог прочитать, потому что на этот звук вмешался. Так что сейчас настройки, кнопка, мышь, аудио, звук. Вот, сделаем низким. Нет, я так не могу. Ладно, в общем, буду стараться говорить громко, но на такие длинные комментарии вы можете нажать паузу. Что остановить игру. Итак, вот мы нас видим.
It's absolutely critical that players quickly wrap their heads around what a portal is. We noticed early playtesters grasped the concept much more quickly when they caught a glimpse of themselves through a portal. So we deliberately positioned this first portal to ensure that players will invariably see themselves.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer-Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin.
One of the things we learned from Narbacular Drop, our student project that became Portal, was that players often thought portals took them into other spaces, or even other dimensions. To help fight that notion, we start players in a visually unique room with memorable objects, so that when they walk through a portal for the first time, they have a clear point of reference which communicates the idea that they're still in the same basic location. For instance, the radio, which is playing an instrumental version of Still Alive, helps as well by providing some audio continuity.
Я же говорил, что я себя не убежу. Короче, эта мелодия Still Alive. И вообще музон с игры.
Portal is effectively an extended player training exercise. We spend a huge portion of the game introducing a series of gameplay tools, then layering those tools into increasingly difficult puzzles. This layering starts here, where we train the button and box mechanic, before introducing the more complicated concept of portals.
Как его так поставить? Ладно. Будем проходить пока что как задумано.
Excellent. Please proceed into the chamber lock after completing each test. First, however, note the incandescent particle field across the exit. This Aperture Science Material Emancipation Grill will vaporize any unauthorized equipment that passes through it. For instance, the Aperture Science Weighted Storage Cube.
Вернее, однородно, а не сокращенно.
Please place the weighted...
А сокращенно экспериментально утяжеленный грузовой куб. Это ЭГ. Так, еще раз. ЭУГК.
Storage cube on the 1500 megawatt Aperture Science Heavy Duty Super Colliding Super Button.
We wanted players to feel safe while standing in a portal, so we never kill them or destroy objects within a portal that's closing. Instead, we either push or teleport objects out of a portal as it closes.
Короче, если портал закроется, то просто стенка вытолкнет игрока. Это не убит. И нахождение стенки предметы не убьет, а просто вот. Эти предметы тоже. Ай. Так можно получить по башке. Так что эти не зря там.
Perfect. Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
We very deliberately introduce and train each gameplay concept in Portal, so that once players reach this spot, we're confident that they know what a portal is and roughly how it works. Early versions of the game let players stumble through the beginning, without always understanding what was going on, which really compromised teaching new concepts. The puzzle you just finished was designed to
You're doing very well.
In early versions of this map, playtesters would charge down the stairs without noticing what was creating the portals. We introduced a mandatory pause in the action, what we call a gate, to help ensure that players stop and notice the portal gun making the blue portal. The particle effect and a loud noise help draw their attention.
Кстати, Глаз говорила не смотреть в рабочий конец устройства, а я смотрел.
Very good. You are now in possession of the Aperture Science handheld portal device. With it, you can create your own portals. These intradimensional gates have proven to be completely safe. The device, however, has not. Do not touch the operational end of the device. Do not look directly at the operational end of the device. Do not submerge the device in liquid, even partially. Most importantly, under no circumstances should Please proceed to the chamber lock. Mind the gap.
When rendering the player's view through a portal, we must render a separate image using a virtual camera which looks out of the opposite portal. To obtain a correct image and efficient rendering performance, we render only what is visible to the limited field of view of the opposite portal and exclude objects which lie between the
This room was designed to make players understand that entrance and exit portals aren't tied to the color of the portal. Playtesters often assumed that orange portals were exit only, so we created this puzzle to force players to enter an orange portal.
Они считают, что игрок будет считать
To ensure the safe performance, remember the Aperture Science bring your daughter's birthday is the perfect time to have her tested.
Так вот, они сделали так, чтобы игрок не считал, что оранжевый находится, да и...
The combination of portal-destroying fields, which we call fizzlers, and the elevators, serve a dual purpose. They provide a clearly identifiable endpoint for each test chamber, while also addressing the more practical problem of how to keep players from portaling across level loads. We eventually integrated the fizzlers into several of our puzzle designs.
Это поле экспроприации. Тогда почему тут рассчитывать? Кайф. Согласны? Просто рассыпали. Ладно. Загрузочка.
Welcome to test chamber 4. You're doing quite well.
Баба! Да, эта самая фишка находится во втором портале.
Integrating portals with Source Engine's physics system was a complex process that required several iterations to achieve the right balance of performance and correctness. Because portals can be played...
Короче, Кстати, еще кое-что покажу.
For your own safety, do not destroy vital testing apparatus.
То есть надо угадать, нам на это у нее первостепенная важность. Сейчас покажу кое-что. Ладно. Если уж точно это покажу.
Once again, excellent work. As part of our required test protocol, we will not monitor the next test chamber. You will be entirely on your own. Good luck.
Хотя только во втором коде. Так что, возможно, это тоже из этого кода.
Certain objects may be vital to your success. Do not destroy testing apparatus.
Я не открывала оранжевый портал. Кстати, тут в настройках есть вот такая вот воронка порталов. Компьютер помогает прицелиться в портал. Да, у меня оранжевый портал. Ладно.
Early versions of Portal featured more detailed, cluttered environments, much like Half-Life 2. We quickly realized that unnecessary objects scattered all over the place distracted players to the point where it actually interfered with the Portal training process. So we simplified the art style to favor clean, focused test chambers. The modular approach we settled on makes it look plausible that the chambers can reform dynamically on these pistons.
Our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was an outright fabrication. Good job. As part of a required test protocol, we will stop enhancing the truth in 3, 2...
Что там было? Кайф. Так, тут у нас синий шарик.
While safety is one of many Enrichment Center goals, the Aperture Science high-energy pellet seen to the left of the chamber can and has caused permanent disabilities such as vaporization. Please be careful. Unbelievable. You.
Subject name here.
Must be the pride of.
Subject hometown here.
To make puzzles deeper than just teleporting to the exit, we had to include surfaces that won't hold a portal, which are formally introduced here. We experimented with several surface designs before we settled on this one, whose visual noise and reflectivity make it easy to identify at a distance.
И эта камера умеет давать.
Warning devices are required on all mobile equipment. However, alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate. Good. Now use the Aperture Science unstationary scaffold to reach the chamber lock.
Теперь ждать придется.
Originally, these scaffolds ran on electrified tracks, but crafty playtesters would hop along the rails to the exit, bypassing the puzzle entirely. We tried to solve this by killing players as soon as they touched the rails. That solution ended up being too much of an overcorrection, as even skilled playtesters were getting frustrated by these one-hit kills in the more complex puzzles later in the game. Making the scaffolds run along immaterial beams.
Это у нас было про вот эти вот рельсы, которые сейчас на самом... которые раньше были рельсы, а сейчас только запрыгнуть. Поэтому пардоник отстрел. А, да, просто прыгнуть. Потолки нет. Ох.
Please note that we have added a consequence for failure.
Even though layering player training was a design goal from the start, we still ended up introducing some concepts too quickly. For instance, this used to be the first energy ball redirection puzzle. Playtesting revealed that this puzzle introduced too many new concepts at once, which ended up frustrating a lot of playtesters. In response, we inserted 2 test chambers before this one to make the energy ball redirection training more gradual.
We previously talked about how we handle static portal collision, but collision with moving objects on the other side of a portal is a completely different and equally hard problem. Walking onto this scaffold was a very iffy proposition for the first few months of development. We saw
Теперь это работает. Не хочу делать как в нестандартном портале.
Very impressive. Please note that any appearance of danger is merely a device to enhance your testing experience. The Enrichment Center regrets to inform you that this next test is impossible. Make no attempt to solve it.
Бла-бла-бла, ерунда. Почему реально ерунда? Потому что это ой.
For the first few months of development, we rendered the views through portals to 2 off-screen textures. This approach was easy to implement and was compatible with a wide range of graphics hardware. Unfortunately, this method was incompatible with anti-aliasing and consumed a large amount of video memory in order to handle recursive views through several portals. Because of these disadvantages, we switched to a system which renders portal views recursively into the frame buffer with the aid of the stencil buffer to isolate pixels corresponding to a given portal. This is a more effective scheme because it is compatible with anti-aliasing and does not consume any additional video memory for off-screen textures.
Fantastic. You remain resolute and resourceful in an atmosphere of extreme pessimism.
Ладно, то не попасть. Минутку, я...
For the first few months of development, we rendered the views through portals to 2 off-screen textures. This approach was
это я читал. Совсем и... Ну, скорее всего, читали. Потому что, наверное, у нас... Русский гораздо проще.
Hello again. To reiterate previous momentum.
Что быстро влетает, то быстро вылетает.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Portal momentum ended up being the hardest concept to convey. For For this series of puzzles, which went through more design iterations than virtually any other part of the game, we introduced the idea of redirecting your momentum using portals, slowly, step by step. We even have the AI voice pretty explicitly explain the elements of the puzzle, something we avoided throughout most of the rest of the game.
Using gravity to fall into one portal so that you come rocketing out the other portal, a skill we call flinging, was another difficult concept to train. We designed a specific visual cue, a pushed-out concrete block with
Ага. Сюда синий. Камера со мной.
Spectacular. You appear to understand how a portal affects forward momentum, or to be more precise, how it does not.
Originally, these exit portal surfaces were static geometry in the final position, but playtesters stubbornly refused to look up to find them. This is another example of the classic game design problem of coaxing players to look up. By putting the portals on moving pistons, we were able to start them in a position that players were more likely to see.
Я доставил камеру туда, куда нужно. Кстати, всего тут можно разбить 33 камеры.
The Enrichment Center promises to always provide a safe testing environment.
We found that rather than looking into portals to see where it went, playtesters would often leap blindly to their doom. In response to this observation, the moral of this puzzle is, look before you leap. The safe orange portal is out of the player's view from this balcony. That forces them to peer through a portal to see it, which trains players in the remote viewing capabilities of portals.
Так.
We found that rather than looking into portals to see where it went, playtesters would often leap blindly to their doom. In response to this observation, the moral of this puzzle is, look before you leap. The safe orange portal is out of the player's view from this balcony. That forces them to peer through a portal to see it, which trains players in the remote viewing capabilities of portals.
Originally, a weighted button was used to open the far door, but playtesters so strongly associated boxes with buttons that they'd get stuck searching hopelessly for a box. We changed the big button to a pedestal-mounted push button, thus removing the box association, but playtesters still had trouble realizing they needed to shoot a portal through the door. Adding a ticking timer sound when the door was open cued players that the puzzle expected them to act during that time, which solved the problem.
А вот это и надо сделать, как дверь открыта. Осталось только подождать. Синий портал. Осталось только подождать. О, ну теперь это не запускает. Заработает вот такое. Не смеетесь. Да не туда. В тот момент, когда надо.
This room is designed to build anticipation for the big moment when players finally get the fully powered portal gun. The puzzle path brings you in a circle around the device, so that it's virtually always in sight, right up until you grab it.
Two linked portals at once. As part of an optional test protocol, we are pleased to present an amusing fact. The device is now more valuable than the organs and combined incomes of everyone in.
Subject hometown, here.
Дороже, чем внутренние органы и зарплата горожан в городе. А можно я обратно положу? Вдруг уронить случайно? Мне надо сюда. А, да. помер, она убежала.
Player training doesn't always stick, especially after the introduction of a big new concept. For instance, after they had acquired the fully powered portal device, playtesters often forgot about the fling maneuver. Since it's such an important skill, this puzzle is designed to reintroduce the idea of flinging.
Тут у нас кубик. Сюда мы создаем синий, а туда мы создаем оранжевый. О! Да блин, промазал. Так, сюда ясно. Мне следовало сохранить. Так. Ладно. Это она так радуется? Не бесится, что мы это испытание прошли.
When we moved from largely placeholder art to our final visual design, this was the first level to get a facelift. We chose this map because it had many of our gameplay elements integrated into a relatively small space. The test chamber art direction was designed.
Incubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline. Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Вернее, я пушкой порталами. Хочу порталами. Господи, то есть вот так вот. Так, теперь берем. Это обязательно. Еще бы хорошо вторую достать сразу.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Вера. Я не понял. Это что, меня это придавило? Да какого фига? Я удивился прямо на ничего. А урона от падения в этой игре нет.
This is the first map in which we experimented with solving the puzzle in as few portal placements as possible. We tried to fit that concept into the story mode, but were never quite able to sell it. Instead of abandoning the idea altogether, we added the concept to a series of post-game challenges.
Что за карты он... Что за про карты он говорил? Лучше покажу. Вот бонусные карты, усложненные и головоломки. Так, один куб. Ай, не понял. Это где урон?
As part of a previously mentioned required test protocol, we can no longer lie to you. When the testing is over, you will be Missed.
Так, вот сейчас покажу эту самую воронку портал. Хотел кинуть на левую кнопку. Такое же нормально.
All subjects intending to handle high-energy gamma-leaking portal technology must be informed that they may be informed of applicable regulatory compliance issues. No further compliance information is required or will be provided, and you are an excellent test subject.
Когда есть способ скоротить и упростить, когда находился слой упростить и скоротить уровень. Так. Теперь F6. Вот. И без шаров. А вот в усложненных камерах вот тут стальная поверхность.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants.
This particular section went through several iterations because it's the first place where players are...
Test. Thank you for helping us help you help us all. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
This puzzle requires players.
Короче. Да, это. Да. Ведь этот нельзя. Отлично. Я чуть не придавил, когда я тут находился. Все, теперь я могу снова сюда попасть. И это еще все равно не все. Так, ставим сюда. Вот тут. Так. Здесь оранжевый, тут синий. F6. О, вылетело.
Perhaps the most important purpose of this final test chamber is to cement the...
Двойная проща. Ну вы поняли. Вот так и вот так. так как-то. Ну, еще и, наверное, прощаю. Ну, теперь акробатика.
Vital testing apparatus
In this
destroyed.
puzzle, we wanted players to realize that using portals
Так, теперь.
In this puzzle, we wanted players to realize that using portals, they can travel long distances in a short step. Originally, we had stairs from the ground level to the upper rooms. Many playtesters, however, were able to run from one room to the other quickly enough to consider it a solution, without ever thinking to use the even easier portal method. By changing the stairs to very slow-moving lifts, we were able to level the travel time for all player experience levels, thus making the intended solution more clear.
Типа говорят, что так и надо. Ну, у нас пусть оно и так.
Due to mandatory scheduled maintenance, the appropriate chamber for this testing sequence is currently unavailable. It has been replaced with a live fire course designed for military androids. The Enrichment Center apologizes for the inconvenience and wishes you the best of luck.
Who are you? Target lost.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Is anyone there? Please put me. No hard feelings.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Even though we didn't want Portal to be too combat heavy, we wanted to add at least a light combat mechanic. After a few less than successful attempts to actually realize this light combat concept, we settled on turrets as a good compromise. The turrets can be defeated with tricky portal maneuvers, but they're also susceptible to a more straightforward berserker approach.
Как бы она по мне не попала, эту турель.
Who's there? I used to. Uh-oh. Critical error. Activated.
Так, торт ложь. А что, нам уже сказали, что окончание испытания будет торт? А? Ложь, помогите. Шарик. Опыт смартфон турель летит. Дай. Чё, это чё? Реально который можно забрать. Так. Прям подкинет кнопки и забудем это. Ай!
Searching.
Да, надо помнить.
Searching.
Надеюсь, я попаду. брать. Ай. Одна пулька все-таки вам не попала. Нет, тут нет.
Stop shooting! Stop shooting!
Надо подождать, пока они успокоятся. Потеряно. Потеряно, цель потеряна. Чережный поиск. Ага.
But you come over here. There you are.
Да. Теперь можно.
Search hello. Shutting down.
Да.
Activated.
Ай. Да, я попал. Поставили. Вижу за это радио. А, вот оно. Мне интересно, радио. Попробуем. Почему бы это? Если можно, то надо установить. Похоже, мы этого так не знаем. Я не попал. Все, это последний.
Who's there? Target lost.
Попалась.
Goodbye. Put me down. Are you still there?
Ах да, просто забыл.
I don't blame you. There you are.
Я захотел посмотреть, как бы это сначала. Надеюсь, в первом курсе будет тройка.
Please put me down.
Well done, Android. The Enrichment Center once again reminds you that Android Hell is a real place where you will be sent at the first sign of defiance.
А что это за для тройка? Это именно печь, что ли? А хотя нет, это Гладос называет экстренное уничтожение существ. А это у нас...
The vital apparatus vent will deliver a weighted companion cube in 3, 2, 1. This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it.
Выйдет. Ой, я поставила как я ходила в первой камере.
We designed this hall so that players had to use a box as a shield, but many playtesters read it as an avoid the energy ball timing puzzle and simply left the box behind. We solved this in large part by having the AI talk about the box a lot. Once the dialogue went in, playtesters went from routinely abandoning the box to never wanting it to leave their side. Since we weren't going to make the players lug a box around for the rest of the game, we had a scene at the end of the level where the players are forced to kill the box.
Перейдем. Да фу ты нужны, я там потом. Через сколько эти высокоэнергетические шары пройти не могут.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Отлично. Следующий.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Я лучше подбросила, пока не жёг. Так. Погодите. А, там. Представляю. Вот чувак прошел первый портал. Давно в него не заходил. Он зашел. Все забыл. Ему говорят, вот тут вот. Пришлось придумать сцену, который нужно убить. Пришлось убить этот круг. Я так такой. Чего? Чего? Там поставим голубой, и оранжевый тут оставим. А сюда поставим синий. Скорее кнопки. Да сколько можно? Окей, похоже, этот не запускает. А запускает это. Окей, похоже, этот странно себя повел. Вернее, я клево поставил. Ах ты, нет, это круто вперед скачу. Но отсюда и вот такой вот результат.
The Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube cannot speak. In the event that the weighted companion cube does speak, the Enrichment Center urges you to disregard its advice.
Так, ну теперь кубиком. О! Это был последний.
You did it. The weighted companion cube certainly brought you good luck. However, it cannot accompany you for the rest of the test and, unfortunately, must be euthanized. Please escort your companion cube to the Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator. You euthanized your faithful companion cube more quickly than any test subject on record. Congratulations.
The awful end of the companion cube serves a dual purpose. It adds a lot more sinister character to our already pretty sinister AI, while simultaneously training the player to use the incinerator, a key component of the final level. The training has a nice dramatic payoff, since players later get to avenge the death of their good friend the companion cube by stuffing.
Окей, первый раз не жалела. Это просто путь. Тоже сама говорю, что с ними не разговаривать.
The experiment is nearing its conclusion. The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
Сама тут город. Эти камеры на стальной поверхности. Опять на стальной поверхности. Почему нельзя сломать камеру? Это безобразие. Ну, кстати, можно...
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Так, и что нам с этим? А, вот. Так, берем вот здесь. Ставим сюда. О! Нет, это по нам стрелять не будет. Блин! Ступоги нам уехали. Сейчас видовые лучи не могут прийти. Что с ним прибегать? Теперь нам надо сюда. Чуть не помер. Во-первых, так. Во-вторых, так. Отлично. Тут у нас
Weighted storage cube destroyed. Please proceed to the Aperture Science Vital Apparatus vent for a replacement.
окей. Я получил замену. Ай, наоборот, все получили замену. Теперь ставим первый портал сюда. Второй сюда. Жмем на кнопку. Но времени у меня много. О. Блин. Ладно. Здесь, да, оранжевый. Жмись. Подойди, я сюда прилечу. А, не прилетел. Промазал немного. Ну ладно. О, тут у нас видимо, нам понадобится эта самая корона портала настройка.
Well done. Be advised that the next test requires exposure to uninsulated electrical parts that may be dangerous under certain conditions. For more information, please attend an Enrichment Center Electrical Safety Seminar.
Кстати, это спойлерю немного, еще музон будет, так что никто не увидит, если я его использую. Ну, я имею в виду создателей портала. Ну, в смысле, этих... Короче...
Welcome to the final test. When you are done, you will drop the device in the Equipment Recovery Annex. Enrichment Center regulations require both hands to be empty before any cake.
Уехала. Да блин! Ладно. Я не буду никуда залезать. Ну, возможно, только ускорилась в этот момент. А хотя нет, я не буду все-таки ускорять. Потому что если у меня ровно другой. А это правильно. Обойти на порог и отлично. Ах, да, кстати. Ай! А меня кубик ударил. Ладно. Наконец-то ее можно...
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Синий, значит, сюда раньше. Синий. 6. Оранжевый. Так, оранжевый. Свой портал. Синий. Оранжевый.
Well done. Be advised that the next test requires exposure to uninsulated electrical parts that may be dangerous under certain conditions. For more information, please attend an Enrichment Center Electrical Safety Seminar. Welcome to the final test. When you are done, you will drop the device in the Equipment Recovery Annex. Enrichment Center regulations require both hands to be empty before any cake.
We use these moving platforms to add time pressure to puzzles. A sequence of simple decisions feels much more climactic under time pressure, in contrast to most puzzles in Portal which can be solved at the player's leisure. Puzzles that aren't time-bound can be more complex, but at the expense of being less dramatic.
А вы знаете, что на самом деле надо поставить портал, когда это открылось? А я все время вот так вот проскакиваю. Ну, через портал гораздо проще.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Похоже, я его там, где-то там оставил. Да, он там.
Congratulations. The test is now over. All Aperture technologies remain safely operational up to 4,000 degrees Kelvin.
Before the player escapes the fire pit, the AI dialogue is all delivered in computerized monotone. After the escape, however, Gladys gets progressively more expressive until, by the end, she's cycling through a whole mess of emotion. Low reflect.
Goodbye. that you made it through the final challenge where we pretended we were going to murder you. We are very, very happy for your success. We are throwing a party in honor of your tremendous success. Place the device on the ground, then lie on your stomach with your arms at your sides. A party associate will arrive shortly.
In these new areas, we weren't using the surfaces the player is familiar with.
Make no further attempt to leave the testing area.
Белый
I can feel you here.
Это скоро нам. Тут у нас дверь заперта. Тут вообще двери нету. Значит, да. Ну да. Теперь возможно. Не понесло, не протянуло. Так. Окей. Ладно, похоже, придется по-другому двигаться. Не в ту сторону. А в ту сторону. Похоже, надо влево и назад. Ой. Его нельзя взять. Представляете, это фальшивый кубик. Его нельзя взять.
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake. It was a fun test, and we're all impressed at how much you won. The test is over. Come back. Somebody cut the cake. I told them to wait for you, but they can't get anywhere. There is still some left in the infirmary bag.
Почему на эту поверхность нельзя поставить портал? А? Кто-нибудь объяснит? Это же... ну да. Это же лето. Поэтому она не портал пригодная. Нам надо сюда Ага, вот это было больше. Осталось. Загрузочка. То есть автосохранение. Ну так что можно и да, лестница ломается первого раза. Это и вот это. Так, смотрим. Какие тут не прикасается к потолку. Вот этот наш цель. Это наша цель. Он нас не придавит. Это кто тут прикасается? Я тут. Вот, кстати, да. Так и не мы. А, если не прикасается. Или да. Вот. Смотрите. Торт. Конфетти. Дорожки. Вода. Ставь. Бочка есть. Нам не надо.
We designed the post-escape levels to give players brief.
Короче, кто-то надолго проиграл.
Didn't we have some fun, though? Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, don't worry. And then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you. That was great. Is anyone there?
Похоже, тут нужно выполнять прикол. А не надо. Выполнять с этого прикола. Надо туда. Наверное. Ну ладно, остальное в следующей серии. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, жмите на колокольчик, следите за друзьями. Всем пока!